Being emotionally available didn't make her closer. It made her comfortable, and comfort is where attraction quietly dies. Most men don't see this coming. They think they're doing the right thing. They communicate, they open up, they show emotional honesty. And somehow, she pulls away. You're left confused, wondering what went wrong. You followed all the rules, you were the good guy, but the connection just dissolved. This isn't a coincidence, it's a pattern. This video explains why emotional availability, when it's misunderstood and misapplied, actually works against attraction. And once you understand the underlying psychology, you stop repeating the same mistake over and over again, relationship after relationship. You finally gain the clarity you've been missing. Modern dating advice sounds healthy on the surface. Be emotionally open, share your feelings. Vulnerability builds connection. So, men listen and follow the advice exactly. They become open books. They explain how they feel at every turn. They offer constant reassurance. They try to remove all uncertainty and ambiguity from the interaction as early as possible, thinking this builds trust. But attraction doesn't grow from effort alone. It's not a logical transaction where you input emotional honesty and get affection in return. It grows from emotional tension. And when that tension disappears too early, when everything is laid out on the table from day one, interest just fades. The spark fizzles out. It's a quiet, slow erosion of desire. And nobody warns men about this. They tell you to be vulnerable, but they don't tell you how to do it without killing the very polarity that creates attraction in the first place. Here's the distinction most people miss, and it's the core of this entire problem. There's a huge difference between emotional availability and emotional access. Emotional availability means you have the capacity to connect. It means you're present, you can empathize, and you're not emotionally walled off. It's a state of being. Emotional access, on the other hand, is about how freely you give that availability away. Most men give unlimited, 24/7 access. They explain every feeling, every doubt, every insecurity. They respond instantly to every text. They over-clarify their intentions, leaving no room for her to wonder, to question, or to invest her own thoughts. But attraction doesn't grow through constant exposure. Think about it. It grows through pacing, through a gradual unfolding. Mystery isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about self-restraint. It's about understanding that not every thought needs to be spoken, and not every feeling needs to be immediately unpacked. It's letting the connection breathe. So, how does attraction actually fade? It's not a dramatic event. It doesn't disappear overnight in a big fight. It's a quiet process. First, the emotional pacing disappears. When you reveal everything upfront, there's nothing left for her to discover. Nothing feels earned. Every conversation becomes a status update rather than a journey of discovery. Second, validation slowly replaces polarity. Instead of being a man with your own perspective and your own center of gravity, you start accommodating her every need and opinion. You stop challenging her in a playful way. You become a mirror, agreeing with everything just to keep the peace. You're afraid of conflict, so you become compliant. This eliminates the masculine-feminine dynamic that fuels desire. Third, and this is the final nail in the coffin, safety replaces excitement. Yes, safety is crucial for keeping a long-term relationship stable. But a relationship needs both safety and excitement to thrive. It needs polarity to stay alive. When everything feels predictable, when she knows exactly what you'll say and do, desire shuts down. Not because she's a bad person or because she's fickle. It's because human biology is honest. We are wired to be attracted to a degree of the unknown, to a challenge, to a spark. This is where so many good men get stuck and feel completely lost. They get caught in the good guy confusion. They think, I did everything right. I was a gentleman. I communicated my feelings. I was honest and transparent. And yes, you did all those things. But you did them without boundaries. You gave away your emotional energy without any sense of value. You made yourself completely predictable. You need to understand that attraction isn't a reward system for good behavior. It's not a checklist where you get points for being nice or for communicating. It's an emotional and biological response. It responds to dynamics, to polarity, to tension. And unlimited, unfiltered emotional access kills curiosity. It makes you common. It turns you from a man she desires into a man she's just comfortable with. And comfort, as we said, is the enemy of attraction. So what does emotional maturity really look like, if it's not just dumping all your feelings? True emotional maturity isn't about emotional leakage, it's about emotional containment. It's the ability to feel your emotions deeply without being controlled by them. It's the wisdom to know when to speak, and more importantly, knowing when to pause. It's understanding that sometimes silence is far more powerful and communicates more strength than a long, rambling explanation. A man who has control over his emotional state signals strength and stability. He is a rock. A man who is constantly leaking his emotions, his anxieties, his needs, his insecurities signals neediness. And neediness is the single greatest killer of attraction. It communicates that your emotional well-being depends on her, which is an immense amount of pressure and is deeply unattractive. A mature man feels everything, but he chooses what he shares, when he shares it, and why. And this is why this pattern keeps happening to so many men. Most don't lose attraction because they're bad partners or because they're jerks. In fact, it's often the opposite. They lose it because they overcorrected. Maybe they were told to be more emotional, so they swung the pendulum too far. They became too predictable. They were always available, always explaining, always seeking validation. And when the attraction inevitably fades, the story gets rewritten in her mind, and in yours. You tell yourself, she just lost feelings out of nowhere. Or she might say, the spark is gone, but the feelings didn't just vanish. The dynamic changed. You inadvertently changed it. You became the reliable, safe, comfortable option, but you stopped being the exciting, desirable one. The polarity that drew her to you in the first place slowly eroded, and you were the one who let it happen, without even realizing it. If being your authentic, open self made you less attractive, the problem wasn't you. It was your timing, your access, and your boundaries. You gave away too much, too soon. You removed all the tension that fuels desire. True strength isn't about being an open book. It's about being the author of that book, deciding which chapters to reveal and when. Clarity isn't cruelty. Restraint isn't manipulation. It's emotional maturity. Once you understand this, you can be an emotionally available man who also maintains attraction, a man who builds a deep connection without sacrificing desire. Thanks for watching.